Good evening. Do you know the number of carbon compounds whose formulae and names have been determined by scientists? The number is approximately 3 millions. This is the number of the carbon compounds whose name and formulae have been determined by the chemist. ये वो संख्या है कार्बन कंपाउंड्स की जिनके नाम और उनके फॉर्मूले केमिस्ट को मालूम है. इतनी बड़ी संख्या, ह्यूज नंबर ऑफ कार्बन कंपाउंड्स. Now what accounts for that? क्या कारण है इतनी बड़ी संख्या में कार्बन कंपाउंड्स होने का, वो हम डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं. Electronic configuration of carbon is 2,4. In the outermost orbit, it has 4 electrons, so it is tetravalent. That is, its valency is 4. The nearest noble gas to carbon is neon, 2,8. Obviously, carbon atom requires 4 more electrons to complete its octet and to acquire the stable configuration of its nearest noble gas, neon. कार्बन का इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कन्फिग्रेशन है 2,4. इसके आउटर मोस्ट ऑर्बिट में 4 इलेक्ट्रॉन है और इसको 4 इलेक्ट्रॉन चाहिए अपना ऑक्टेट पूरा करने के लिए और अपने नियरेस्ट नोबल गैस नियॉन जैसा इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कन्फिग्रेशन एक्वायर करने के लिए, प्राप्त करने के लिए, अटेन करने के लिए. Now let us see whether there is an atom which can donate 4 electrons to the carbon atom so that it can form a carbon anion with 4 unit negative charge. Let's see. So carbon atom has 6 protons in its nucleus, 6 neutrons. First shell has 2 electrons, second shell has 1, 2, 3, 4 electrons. Now let's see whether it can complete its octet by gaining 4 electrons, and what happens in that case. If somehow it gains 4 electrons, then the total number of electrons will be 8 plus 2, that is 10. So number of electrons orbiting in the extranuclear orbit is 10 and the number of protons in the nucleus is 6. Now you can see that it will be very, very difficult for 6 protons in the nucleus of the carbon atom to hold on 10 electrons. कार्बन एटम के न्यूक्लियस के लिए जिसमें केवल 6 प्रोटॉन्स हैं, 10 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स को होल्ड ऑन करना, बांधे रखना संभव नहीं है. सो देयर इज no possibility of the formation of carbon anion. Now let's see whether carbon atom can lose 4 electrons from its outermost orbit so that it will have an electronic configuration of helium. So 4 electrons and 2 electrons in the first orbit. Now these 4 electrons are strongly attracted toward the nucleus. It is possible to remove 1 electron from the carbon atom, 2 electrons from the carbon atom, at most 3 electrons to remove from the carbon atom. But it will be very difficult to remove 4 electrons from the carbon atom leaving. It will be very difficult to remove 4 electrons from the carbon atom leaving 2 electrons which are held together by 6 protons, because a large amount of the energy will be required to remove 4 electrons. तो हम एक दूसरी संभावना ढूंढते हैं कि क्या कार्बन केटायन बना सकता है with 4 unit positive charge by using 4 electrons. तो 4 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स को रिमूव करने के लिए एनर्जी चाहिए. 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन रिमूव किया जा सकता है आसानी से, 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन कैन बी रिमूव्ड इजीली, 3 इलेक्ट्रॉन कैन बी रिमूव्ड, but it will be very difficult to remove 4 electrons because a large amount of the energy will be required. 4 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स को कार्बन एटम से निकालने के लिए बहुत अधिक एनर्जी की आवश्यकता होगी, इसलिए कार्बन एटम केटायन भी नहीं बना सकता. So possibility of formation of ionic bond by carbon atom is overruled. कोई संभावना नहीं है कार्बन एटम के कि वो कार्बन एटम एनायन या केटायन बना करके आयोनिक बॉन्ड बना सके. So let's see how a carbon atom can acquire stable configuration. Now carbon atom has 4 electrons in its outermost orbit, and since in bonding we have already discussed this, only electron in the outermost orbit take part in the bonding, so we will show only electron in the outermost orbit. So there are 4 electrons. Hydrogen atom on the other hand has 1 electron in its only shell. The nearest noble gas to hydrogen is helium, whose electronic configuration is 2, which has 2 electrons in its only shell. So hydrogen requires 1 more electron to acquire the stable configuration of helium. On the other hand, carbon atom requires 4 electrons to complete its octet and acquire the stable configuration of neon. So there can be a compromise between carbon atom and 4 hydrogen atom. If carbon atom and hydrogen atom share 1 pair of electron between them, duplet of the hydrogen atom, that is 2 electrons in the only shell, and octet of the carbon atom is completed. You can see this carbon atom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Remember, when 2 atoms share pair or pairs of electron between them, both the atoms have equal claim on the shared pair of electron. जब 2 एटम्स इलेक्ट्रॉन पेयर शेयर करते हैं, चाहे वो 1 पेयर शेयर करें, 2 पेयर शेयर करें, 3 पेयर शेयर करें, तो जो शेयर्ड पेयर होता है इलेक्ट्रॉन का, उस पर दोनों का समान अधिकार होता है. नाउ दिस पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन is equally claimed by carbon atom as well as hydrogen atom. So what you see here, that the triplet of the hydrogen atom and octet of the carbon atom is completed. This is how carbon atom can acquire the stable configuration of neon. So when two atoms share electrons between them, a covalent bond is formed between them. So what is covalent bond? यहाँ से हम definition derive करेंगे covalent bond की, कि a chemical bond which is formed between two atoms as a result of sharing of pair of electrons between them is called a covalent bond. What is covalent bond? A chemical bond which is formed between two atoms as a result of sharing of pair of electrons between them is called a covalent bond. The pair of electrons that they share is called covalency. Since carbon atom is sharing 4 electrons, so its covalency is 4. And therefore we say that carbon is tetravalent. Its valency is 4. Whereas since hydrogen atom is sharing only one pair, so its covalency is 1. So what is a covalent bond? A chemical bond which is formed between two atoms as a result of sharing of electron pairs between them is called a covalent bond. Now covalent bonds are of 3 types, namely single covalent bond, double covalent bond, triple covalent bond. In this case, you can see that carbon atom and hydrogen atom are sharing only one pair of electrons between them. Therefore, a single covalent bond is formed between carbon and hydrogen atom. Actually, carbon atom and hydrogen atom are bonded together. They attract each other due to this shared pair of electrons. And when two atoms share one pair of electrons between them, a single covalent bond is formed between them, and it is represented by this line which represents covalent bond. Which covalent bond? Single covalent bond. Let's see some more example to illustrate single covalent bond. Chlorine atom has 7 electrons in its outermost orbit. Electronic configuration is 287, and it requires 1 electron to complete its octet and to acquire a stable configuration of argon. Now, 2 chlorine atoms share 1 pair of electrons between them. And as a result of this sharing, you can see that octet of both the chlorine atom is completed. This is shared pair. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Since 2 chlorine atoms are sharing 1 pair of electrons between them, chlorine atom are bonded together covalent bond to form molecule of chlorine. One more example. In methane, one atom of carbon is bonded to 4 atoms of hydrogen by a single covalent bond. Carbon atom has 4 electrons in its outermost orbit. Hydrogen atom have only 1 electron in the only shell. In order to complete its octet, carbon atom shares 4 electron pairs with 4 hydrogen atoms. And as a result of this sharing, octet of carbon atom and duplet of hydrogen atom is completed. And since carbon and hydrogen atom are bonded by, they are sharing 1 pair of electron, a single covalent bond is formed between carbon and hydrogen atom. So it is clear from these illustrations that when 2 atoms share 1 pair of electron between them, a single covalent bond is formed. Electronic configuration of oxygen is 2,6. The nearest noble gas to oxygen is neon, 2,8. Obviously, oxygen atom requires 2 electrons to complete its octet and to acquire the stable configuration of neon. So oxygen atom has 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 electrons outermost orbit. Let us have one more oxygen atom. You can see that if these 2 oxygen atoms share 2 pairs of electrons between them, and let the situation come and see what happens. 2 pair of electrons are shared by the oxygen atom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Octet of this oxygen atom is completed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Octet of this oxygen is completed. Now 2 oxygen atoms are sharing 2 pair of electrons. Therefore, a double covalent bond is formed between 2 oxygen atoms to form molecule of oxygen. So when 2 atoms share 2 pairs of electrons between them, a double covalent bond is formed between them. Let's see one more example to illustrate it. In carbon dioxide, carbon atom is bonded to 2 oxygen atoms by double covalent bonds. Let's see how. Carbon atom has 4 electrons in its outermost orbit and it requires 4 electrons to complete its octet and acquire the stable configuration of neon. Oxygen atom has 6 electrons and it requires 2 electrons to complete its octet. Now carbon atom shares two pairs of electrons with each of the two oxygen atoms. And you can say in this way, octet of carbon atom 448 and octet of oxygen atom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is completed. Now since carbon atom is sharing two pair of electrons with two oxygen atoms, carbon and oxygen atoms are bonded together by a double covalent bond. So when two atoms share two pairs of electrons, a double covalent bond is formed between them. Electronic configuration of nitrogen is 2,5. Its atomic number is 7. And nearest noble gas to it is neon. 2,8. Obviously, nitrogen atom requires 3 electrons to complete its octet. So these are the 5 electrons in the outermost orbit. This is now since nitrogen atom requires 3 more electrons to complete its octet. Therefore, 2 nitrogen atoms share 3 pairs of electrons between them. And you can see that the octet of both nitrogen atoms is completed or not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Octet of this nitrogen atom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Octet of this nitrogen atom is completed. And since 2 nitrogen atoms are sharing 3 pairs, a triple covalent bond is formed between 2 nitrogen atoms to form the molecule of nitrogen. So when 2 atoms share 3 pairs of electrons between them, a triple covalent bond is formed between them. That's all today's